It seems that there's a new conference for IT service providers almost every week, and making the decision on which conference to attend can be tough. They're big conferences like Channel X and IT Nation, DattoCon, medium-sized ones like Robin Robbins Boot Camp, Gary Pika Sniz Fest, and now Marketopia's For You to Grow conference.
Welcome to the IT Provider Network. Are you a managed service entrepreneur wanting to take your business to the next level? Do you excel in IT but feel your business management could be better? Join Terry Rossi, where every episode he shares the skills, tips, and tricks that helped him to build a successful worldwide business.
I was fortunate enough to be able to attend Marketopia's For You to Grow conference both last year and this year. And if you remember back to episode 31 of the IT Provider Network, where I talk about outsourcing your appointment setting, I talked about the pros and cons of outsourcing telemarketing for lead generation. And I specifically talked about doing it in our industry and Marketopia, who I use for my outsourced appointment setting. I signed up with Marketopia at their second annual For You to Grow conference last year. For MSPs, they offer the normal plethora of marketing services, everything from website design, email blasts, pay-per-click, and SEO services. But the big seller for them to MSPs and also vendors that sell to MSPs are callers. You can purchase a half-time or a full-time telemarketer to cold call on your behalf. They call with your list into your area. They'll help you buy a list or rent a list, or if you have your own list like we did, they'll call on that list. It's a good way to get an inside sales or telemarketing program going without having to hire, fire, train, and retain a telemarketer. Marketopia is clearly doing a bunch of things right. This year, they were named to the Inc. 500 list in position 232. Marketopia, having scaled its revenues at an impressive 2,000+%, has joined the ranks of others in the Inc. 500, including ClickFunnels, who ranked in at 76, KnowBe4, ranked in at 96, and Pax8, who ranked in at 68. Their conference, For You to Grow, and they have some associated road shows that are also traveling the country, are a big part of their success. This conference is for clients and prospects, and it's basically an educational event with little or no direct pitching. But the Marketopia sales team is always looking to close deals at the show. So Jeff Laws and Austin McCord are always gently lurking around the corner, working over prospects and trying to get deals done before the end of the show. On day one of the conference, I was asked to host a VIP mastermind for existing Marketopia clients. It was a great, intimate group of MSPs, big and small, from all over the country. We spent 2 hours talking about what's working and what's not working. I feel by the end of it, it was honest and straightforward. People had really opened up and shared their concerns and their successes as well. So what was my big takeaways from the conference? Well, I had a few. Most of them came from Terry and his wife, Andrea, the co-owners of Marketopia. Terry's the CEO and his wife, Andrea, is the CMO. But there was also a really good session from Adam Slutsky, formerly of ConnectWise. He was ConnectWise's CRO and now is kind of a sales gun for hire. So here's some of the things I took away from the conference. We all have a lot of business in our existing client base that we may not be capitalizing on. We need to make sure we're doing our best to sell our whole stack to as much of our client base as possible. So here's some strategies to help you increase sales in your existing base. You want to identify products or services that your clients could buy, but don't buy. Now, this could be anything from digital marketing, website design, iPads, iPhones, mobile device management, stuff that you're the logical candidate for, but maybe you're not offering to them. You want to develop a plan for expanding your relationship within the account with different contacts in the account. So you want to make sure that you're not just talking to your point of contact, but you're making inroads into other departments and areas within the company that may have needs that they're not coming to you for. You want to keep trying to add value to all the contacts you know at the client. So this could be in the form of digital marketing, your VCIO notes, whatever you're doing to communicate with a client. Make sure you're not forgetting about those other key contacts in different departments within the company. You want to give your clients ideas on how to improve their business operations. Teach them to become more efficient, more profitable, improve their customer service. Many of us sell VCIO services or business consulting services, but few of us actually deliver it. So come to your clients with ideas. Show them how to improve their business. Utilize your base of clients to get ideas. Something you get from an HVAC contractor, you may be able to share with a lawyer that's never heard it before. You also want to make sure your customers understand that they have a special relationship with you. This might be in the way of gifts or tokens that you give to them to show that you care, you appreciate their business. Remember their anniversary dates. Remember their birthday if you know it. Let them know that they're special to you. A handwritten note always goes a long way. And lastly, you want to identify your customers' customers so that you can help them win. You want to help them grow their business, get more profit, cement the relationship with you. So that's the first thing. I have a lot of business in our existing client base, and we may not always be capitalizing on it. The second thing that I took away as a big win from the conference was that we need to be more strategic in our marketing. And I'm going to highlight for this podcast specifically the About Us page on our website. If you're looking at your website stats, and you should, I always use Google Analytics, but there's a lot of different ways to look at stats. Google Analytics, in my opinion, is probably the best. You'll probably see that your About Us page is the second most visited page on your website. It's second only to the homepage. Do they still call it a homepage? I don't even know. But put some effort into your About page. Have a listen to Tools for Publishing and Monitoring Your Social Media Networks, one of the earlier IT Provider Network shows, for some tips about your About Us page. You also want to check out some excellent articles, one from HubSpot and one from Copyblogger. And I've made reference to them at itprovidernetwork.com/39. So here's a couple common mistakes you see on people's About page. The first is you don't have an About Us page. That's a big mistake. You want to have one. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So you want to make sure you're building that trust with them. The second big problem you might find is that you're listed as the CEO of your company, but they can't find your name or anything about you on the internet. So build up some social presence. Get yourself ranked high for your own name on Google. The third thing is they don't know what you look like. You know, a picture of you goes a long way, or your picture of your team goes a long way to build credibility and rapport with your prospects. So make sure you have a picture on your About Us page or pictures. The fourth mistake we see is your writing is boring. If you have to, sub it out, but get somebody that specializes in copywriting to write your About Us page. The other big thing we see is that you use video alone on your About Us page. Now, I'm not opposed to video. I think it's a great idea for your About Us page, but with the recent changes in the browsers where the videos don't autoplay, you should have some copy that goes along with your video. The sixth thing is you go on and on. The About Us page doesn't have to be really long. It just has to be decent. You have to tell a little bit about your origin story. And if you don't know what that means, go Google origin story. But it's the story of the creation of your company, how you got into the business. What's your why? Why do you want to serve your clients? You need to get that across in your About Us page because that's going to build rapport with the prospect. And the last thing is you need to make sure that the About Us page is really not about you. It's about the prospect. It's about the prospect learning about you. So write it in such a way that somebody would want to read it. So that's the second thing. Put more effort, more strategic effort into your marketing. And again, I'm just highlighting one section of that, but the About Us page is something that all of us can fix easily. The third thing was from Adam Slutsky, and that was great tips for hiring salespeople. Now, he gave a talk on that, and I actually did 3 podcasts on hiring. And believe it or not, I'm also releasing a book called Hiring in the Digital Age, Tips to Take the Pain Out of Interviewing, Hiring, and Onboarding New People in Your Small Business. Adam Slutsky, the former ConnectWise CRO and now strategic advisor to Marketopia, gave a great talk on hiring salespeople. While Adam concentrated on salespeople, I think his advice applies to almost anyone we hire in our business. Some of his key points were, the person you hire needs to be quick thinking. They need to be a flexible thinker, thinking on their feet, understanding and grasping a situation quickly. They need to be really really quick thinking. They also need to be insightful. They need to be able to pick up new technologies, new business scenarios quickly. They need to be a quick study. They need to be determined, right? If specifically for salespeople, this is not an easy sale. This is not a quick sale. So they need to have tenacity. They need to have process. They need to be determined. And lastly, they need to be passionate. You know, you always want to hire somebody that's proud, goal-oriented, customer-focused, and passionate about what they do. As I said, I think this applies to everyone in our companies. So I want you to take this back to your companies and really make some change, right? Look at your About Us page. Look at the people you're hiring. Look at what you're selling into your existing client base and how you could be selling more to them. I think there's some real gold here. And I think that by being strategic, being intentional, we can do a lot more with our businesses. So anyway, that's it for today's episode of the IT Provider Network. My name's Terry Rossi, and as always, I thank you for tuning in and listening. I know your time is precious, and I know your podcast app only holds 6 or 7 podcasts, and your commute's probably 30 minutes, but I do appreciate you spending a little time with me. I know the podcasts have been a little bit random as far as the delivery times lately, and that's honestly just because life is getting in the way. I've been very busy at work. We're trying to push hard for closing out 2018 with a bang, and there's a lot of things going on. So anyway, I appreciate your patience. As always, I love your comments. Your reviews on iTunes or Stitcher are always a blessing, and I want to especially thank those that reach out and write to me or saw me at a conference and said hello. I do appreciate it. I know we got a new listener this month from Italy, and I met some great people up in Boston that listen to the podcast as well. So I do appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day. And remember, we are IT.
Thank you for joining us, and we hope you've been inspired. Check us out on social media via @ITProviderNet and visit us at www.itprovidernetwork.com for past episodes, show notes, videos, and more. And we hope you'll join Terry next time on the IT Provider Network.